Hey guys, how are all of you doing today? I hope you're excited for another Halloween episode. Today I will be building a abandoned house in the woods and I wanted to get some shops and facilities in, but since we'll be doing Halloween only for a certain amount of episodes, I don't think I will have the time to make so many separate buildings for that. So I figured maybe I can just put it all in one house. And for the fairy tale area, I will probably just make separate buildings for it. So here I'm making the floor plan. This was kind of a pain. The path system has improved greatly, but there are still some issues, and if you would do something like this, it's pretty hard. I'm pretty sure the path tool wasn't even designed for something like this, so it's more than okay. But I have to say I'm really happy with the fact that they removed the little dots that you would get when making a square, but still I had a lot of trouble to get every corner squared out, as you will see. I skipped a lot of it because I was just messing around with it so much, so it will look a lot easier for you guys. Also the speed makes it look like a breeze, but believe me, it wasn't. And I think I even started over 2 times before I got it right this time. That was mainly because of the grid. You need to get the grid exactly aligned to the path. And something I forgot the first few tries was that you can select the grid if you place a path, but not the other way around. So you need to have a grid first. And that way I could get it exactly how I wanted it. So if that is not the case, you will run into some trouble with the shops and the walls and stuff like that. Now, this is all kind of crazy, of course, because you will never really see the inside of a building, but still, it's something I like to do. Probably because I'm used to The Sims, and yeah, I just really like to design houses. This house, like the previous hut I made, aren't really that special in shape, not so fantasy like. And I kind of like that for this area, but if I will do a haunted house or anything like that, I will go for more of a fantasy shape probably. So over here I'm going to place down some toilets and then work on the rest of the shops. Maybe it's just me, but I think it's pretty hard to see if a shop connects to the path correctly because of the little gap you get between the path and the shop. That is for the wall front that you place down, of course. I don't know, maybe it's because of how I made the path look a little bit square and you can see it snap into place like that. But everything worked out in the end. So yeah, here I'm going to place down an ATM, and this was also a little bit of an issue because it just didn't want to place where I wanted it. So I had to move the wall, and that way it worked out pretty well. Just fixing the path here because I will make a stairs over there, so it seems like there's a second level, but it's just for show. You won't be able to go to a second level or anything. Now I wanted to make some space for the first aid, and I thought it would be a good spot for it. I really like the layout of the building, how the left side of the building is for facilities and the right side for the shops, and then you have the hallway with the ATM. And over here, again, I wasn't sure if it was connecting to it or not, so I just thought I'd just adjust it a little bit, and then I started to get some more trouble with the path again. As you can see, it just didn't want to do what I wanted at all, so I selected the grid with the path again, and I actually cut it out, but it got it just got worse and worse after that, so I had to adjust most of the pathing. Right now, just adding the wooden roof tiles so it looks like an old wooden building. So we have a little skip here because I was basically just finishing up some of the walls and the layout, so you didn't miss much. But over here I will start using some of the furniture I made. Some of you already downloaded it and have seen the blueprint episode, but if you haven't, all of the furniture items that you will see me using in this episode are on the Steam Workshop, and the link is in the description like always. My favorite is definitely the fireplace. I just love that one. Who knows, maybe I'll make more of them, and if it's in the same style, I will update the blueprint and will let you guys know when I do. And using another one here, this big storage thing. What's it called? Cupboard? Closet? I don't know, but it looks really cool with all the extra things like barrels I put around it and make it feel more cluttered with all these pots and stuff. By the way, what did you guys think of the Party in the Park event? I hope a lot of you got the chance to build some things in this amazing game. 4 days is kind of short because you will have to get used to the way things work, of course, but I do hope you enjoyed it so much and could see the huge potential it has, because it really does. And did you guys watch the live streams as well? I enjoyed that so much. They seem to have so much fun with it. I laughed my ass off every now and then because of the silliness, so that was really awesome. I enjoyed seeing a lot of the community creations, and oh man, I have to step up my game, guys. Some of them were just absolutely mind blowing. A few of the steampunk ones were just really amazing, and I'm pretty good at many different things in games like these. Most I just do without thinking, but what I'm not that good at is just creating a complete new style out of objects that are not meant for that. So, how they did that with the water wheel and all the moving parts, yeah, it was just simply so impressive. Also, the thing I can't forget was the pop-up book. That was so creative and really stuck with me. I wish I remember the names of the ones who made that, but yeah, so cool, guys. If you haven't seen it, you can always watch it back, of course, on the Planet Coaster YouTube, and it's really worth it. And you can just put it on and build alongside with it, or something like that, or just put it on in the background if you don't like to watch 3 hour live streams. I actually really do, but yeah, I kind of wish I made more than just a park for the event, but I was just so busy this week, and the park was a lot of work. Also, building this house, so I didn't have any time to create something for that, but yeah, it wasn't chosen, and small chance, of course. I didn't really expect it anyway, but I think I asked you guys in the first episode of the Sky Kingdom if you would enjoy building in a park if I would do the terraforming, and some of you liked it, so yeah, this event was actually a nice chance for me to do that, and I had to pull an all-nighter for it because I had to get it done before the event, and it was probably a bit too detailed for that anyway. Yeah, I kind of tend to do that. I can never just keep something simple. But I think for those of you who don't really like starting out in a flat park, it will be really cool. And I sculpted a sea serpent, which was so much fun to do, and it looks really cool. So if you haven't seen it and if you're interested, that one is also on the Steam Workshop, and I also made a blueprint video for that, so you can check it out before committing to it. Alright, after I finish with these windows, I will skip to the stairs over here, and this really helps with making it look more like a house. And I kind of wish we had some spider webs or things like that, you know, so you can really make it feel like an old abandoned house, but that is just very specific for what I'm doing, so that is not really something you can expect for a game like this, of course. But it would really have helped me with the look I'm going for. I will put in a lot of foliage so it will look a little bit overgrown, and yeah, that will help as well. After I finish these stairs, I will start working on some wooden supports, and that will change the whole look of this building right away. It was so empty, and because we're not really meant to do interior, you're pretty limited in what you can do, but with some imagination you can actually do a lot with just the objects that we already have. And yes, these wooden supports just really help. I won't show you all of it because it was just a lot of the same, but you can see how I did it and fill in the blanks. I will show you how I did it in this hallway, and the rest of them will just magically appear. See, it really is a magical spooky forest. After I did the other rooms, I could see that I didn't align it right, so I had to adjust that a bit. I kind of put it there and decided later that I also wanted wooden columns, so I had to adjust that a bit. I think though before I finished that, I got distracted somewhere over here and decided that I didn't like the limestone arches anymore. It just felt off with the look for this house I was going for at this point. Yeah, here we go. So I decided to remove those, and I will add some wooden ones instead. And yeah, that just really fits the style way more. Even though they look a little bit modern, but I say it's good enough. So this is almost done, and yeah, do you see the mess they just throw in the ground? Especially outside over there. Damn. I put it on play a while back to see if everything worked, but at that time I still didn't have any benches and bins in here. But I will fix that soon. They couldn't just hold on to it for a little bit and take it to one of the bins outside. Messy people. Now just putting up some signs. I wish we had more of the wooden ones, like the Cosmic Cow and the Chief Beef. I just don't like to put this modern fantastic head sign on here, but yeah, that is probably something for a little bit later. And at this time I actually started doing the bins and the benches, And I just had to finish the interior a little bit so I could see where I could place them down. After that is done right now, I will start putting in the foundation, and I chose the same one as I used on the inside for the arches, and that way the style kind of fits again. And even though this one is a little bit modern, I think it works for this. Something I would really like, and you will remember this if you played Roller Coaster Tycoon, I would love to have the option again where you could just decide when you open the shops for the purpose of managing the park. That is something I really like to do, because then you can just take a moment and say, okay, now I will open the shops and decide on the prices and do all the different kind of settings that you would like for something like that. That is just something that really worked for me. So before I will start working on the exterior, I still felt like I don't have a sign for the first aid, and it's really not too hard to make, so I just dyed a wooden plank red and made a cross out of it, and there you have your sign. So that was pretty easy. After this, I think we will work on the roofs probably, because the inside is as good as done, and it's time to work on the exterior of the building, do something that normal people do. I will still go back to it a little bit. Like I said, I will place some foliage inside of here and some pines and things like that to make it look a little bit overgrown and somewhat more old. Alright, so here we go for the roofs. This was something I really wanted to do because I never really know if a building works until I see how it looks with the roof on there. So most of the time I wouldn't work in so much detail before I finish that, but it's so much easier to do the interior this way. So I did have in mind how I wanted the roof to go when I made the walls, so I just had to go for it, and luckily it worked out the way I wanted it. I will still add a flat wooden ceiling above the support beams later, because it would be a little bit weird to have no ceiling and just look straight up to the roof. Just adding some roof trims here, and a bit later I will change the roof in the middle to the steeper pitched one as well, and that will just make it look a little bit better. First I will work some more on these wooden columns to give it the same kind of rustic feel to it as the inside, but I will add way more detail on the walls on the exterior. I will just place these columns all around, but again I will just show you how I did the front so it's not too much of the same tedious work to look at. And yeah, since there are so many of these great wooden details, it's really a lot of fun to play around with. The new things we got for this alpha are just great. A lot of things I hadn't had the chance to work with yet within the style of the castle, of course, because I was more focused on stone. So the last time I worked with wooden details was Pirate Haven, and man, how I would love to have some of these objects back then. That would have made things so much easier, but I'm glad we have more now. Here I was just playing around with it, seeing what worked, and I felt like, well, if it doesn't work out, I'll just start over. Because I wasn't crazy about the exterior at this point, but after I just kept adding things, which you will see a little bit later after I finish this porch, it finally started to click and I really started to like the look. At this point, I'm starting to get really curious about when the beta will be out. We can probably expect some more new things, and I'm just really curious to see what kind of things we would get. Somewhere I kind of hope that it won't be too many new things unless we get so much on the release date that we're all like, what the hell? I never expected we get this much, because I feel like we got a lot already for this alpha, and if that happens again for the beta, I don't want the release date to feel like another update, you know? More like, you thought you knew what this game was about? Well, you're wrong. I still want to be surprised with what they have in store for us, and I kind of want to be overwhelmed with things we would never expect as well. This is also the reason that most of the time I don't really play alphas, because I like that feeling of learning a new game, and if I'm a bit overwhelmed with how much stuff we get or with how much there is to learn, the game won't get boring and I can just discover new things after months. What would really help with this would be scaling objects, because then all the objects would have so many new possibilities, and what you could do with this game would actually be endless. We all know we will get a sci-fi theme, which is absolutely awesome because I'm a huge sci-fi nerd. Probably just as much as I'm a huge superhero nerd, but that is way off topic. I don't know why that popped into my head. Personally, I would love themes like Western with cowboy and Indian animatronics, you know? Something with ruins, maybe like an Aztec style. And I've seen something like a tiki mascot, so something in that direction we can probably expect. But most of all, what I really want are dinosaurs. I would love to have some dinosaur animatronics and as well as animals. To think what you could do with that. Oh man. If they won't do stuff like that for the base game, maybe we will get expansions. I really, really hope so, because expansions in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 were really cool for that time. But to be able to build a zoo or a water park now with Planet Coaster, that would just make my dream for this game come true, and would probably make me play this game for the next 10 years or more, without a doubt. Here I started working on the gable. I had some trouble finding the shape that I liked, so I will change it again in a bit, but a lot of the time it's just really seeing what works and what doesn't. I don't always know what I'm doing at the moment. I always have an idea of what I want to do, but not exactly how I will execute it. So sometimes you just have to try different things and see if you like the result. I made the roof overlap a little bit, but in the end that didn't look right to me, so I put that back to how it was before. When I copied it over to the other side, I saw it would look way better if I put it down a bit higher, and then everything just fell into place. I could do something similar for the small ones as well, and I kind of knew right away what I wanted to do here, because if you know about this object, you can see the shape is already there, so I will place that one over here right now. So you can see this one just fitted perfectly in here, and that just finished it off for me, and I could copy it over to over the porch over here, and that just really finishes the look. At this point I added some more windows, and I did that off screen because it's on the back side of the building, and I will just show you in real time how it looks, but you get the idea. And adding a chimney here right above the fireplace, so that all fits correctly. And I think I will add some wooden planks to make it feel like this roof was patched up a few times and it looks a little bit older. And I will do that on the inside as well, on the wooden flat ceiling, I should say. Adding a lot of these vines as well to make it look more overgrown, and I will also do that on the inside. And I think I deleted it on the roof eventually because I just didn't like how it looked. I don't know, it felt weird to me. But yeah, at this point I will just keep adding little things to really finish this building. I won't show you all of it because I will go to real-time part soon and I will show you how it looks. Before I do that though, I really wanted to thank you just all so much for the support. Last week was insane. We went from 86 subs, like I said in the last episode, but I wasn't really specific about the timeline, to 160 subscribers, but that was only in the first 2 hours after Beatubs posted his video. And when I posted the last episode of the Skye Kingdom, it was over 600 subscribers, and now we're over 1,000 subscribers. So that is absolutely amazing to grow this much within such a short time. And Beatubs explained in his last episode kind of his train of thought about who we were, and Osira and I just laughed so hard, and not because it was stupid like he said himself, but because it was just really funny to hear him laugh about it himself. And so I guess we both took it in stride, and the way he explained it was just really funny, and we honestly just left with you there. Oh, that was good. Alright, let me just skip to real time now, because this will go on for a little bit. I still kind of want to show you some new things in the real time part as well, so here we go. And here we are. So as you can see, I left the entrance the same. I will change that eventually, but I don't exactly know what I want to do with it yet. Over here I added some more vines so it looks more like an entrance. I really wish we had some custom signs, because that would just finish this off, and yeah, that would look really cool. So I added another witch, as you can see, and there are a few of them in this area. So let's go in. All of this is still the same, and I really do like how it looks with all these lights and vines, and I really like the look of it. Then we have the abandoned farm cart over here. That's pretty cool. And then we have the hut. So the only thing I really changed were these planks over here. I also deleted some of these planks in the roof, but I kind of forgot to do the same with the planks I used to patch it up. But I can always do that a little bit later, of course, that's no problem. It's not on the blueprint though, so maybe you can change it for yourself a little bit. Over here I added the sign in these vines, so that's a bit of fun. Also the priority queue line over here, that is something I forgot to do last time, so I did add that. And the hut was made for the priority passes, so they can actually use it now over here. I had to change the path a little bit over here because it was kind of in the way with where I placed the house, and because there is pathing inside I couldn't change it. But yeah, as you can see, this area is now fully decorated, and I basically just did the same kind of things, added some of these thorn vines and spooky trees, some of the mist and things like that. I just added a lot of trees and foliage over here. I do really want it to feel like a dense forest. And oh, little lag spike. That happens every now and then. It runs really well though, even though I have so much FX in here. But yeah, another witch in here. I wish we could change the color so it would look like, at least like there were different witches in this forest. Also extended this porch a bit. That makes it look just a little bit more balanced, a little bit better. And here we are inside of the building. Look at them chilling. They seem to like it at least. It does really feel quite spacious in here. I do really like that. Yeah, over here we have the first aid, and they don't seem to go in. Oh, well, you can see it right now. They walk towards the entrance and then they turn around. So no clue what that is about. I tried to put it elsewhere, but yeah, just doesn't seem to work. Do you guys experience the same thing? Maybe you can let me know so I know that it's not just me and I'm doing something wrong. Everything else just seemed to work fine, and yeah, as you can see, I patched up the ceiling over there. That looks pretty cool. Added a lot of foliage and lights in here so you can see what is going on. I even tried to put the first aid outside somewhere and see if it worked then, but yeah, still doesn't seem to work. So we have the ATM over here. That looks pretty cool. Over here I added another column so I could put the sign on there. The wall was still looking pretty empty, and also did the ceiling a little bit over here, and I do really like how that looks. I still wish we had some spider webs. That would just completely finish this for me. I love this living room corner. That just looks amazing, and I'm really happy that I made the furniture. What doesn't look that good is the texture glitching though, so yeah. Nothing really I can do about that until we maybe have some quarter tiles or something like that. So that is it for the house. Let me just show you the outside, what I did there on the back, because I didn't show you that in speed build, and it's pretty dark, so don't think you can see anything right now. YouTube also makes your videos a little bit darker, so let me just skip to daytime. Didn't do anything special over here, just added a lot of trees and foliage to make it look like a dense forest, which is something I really wanted for this area. So yeah, that just looks pretty good, and I did finish off some of the detailing on the back. Just basically did the same things that I did in the front, but less detailed, and some of the things like the gable I could just copy over and an island. If you guys like this building, I can try to put it on the workshop. It is over 1,000 objects, so I would have to change it a bit. The path inside is kind of crazy, so what I could do is just upload it without everything that is inside, and just upload it so you could use it for the exterior. Maybe put your own spin on it. I will delete the furniture and the shops probably, and the furniture you can download separately. So if that is something you guys are interested in, just ask me and I will upload it as a blueprint. Some of you said that I should do a real-time part after every episode, and that is something I understand, but I can't really do, not with the way I work. I often work ahead, and at this point there are already some things I've done for the next episode, and this time I could hide it behind the trees, but that is not always something that is possible. So I did just decide that I would show you things in real time when I finish an area or just a piece of it, like now. Alright, that is it for this one, guys. I hope you liked it, and you can show your support by liking the video and leaving a comment down below. You can also just follow us on Twitter and Facebook if you want to know when exactly a new episode is online. Have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next one.